man, it's so cool. Like, it's so much fun. I love riding these things. It's such a blast. Like, it makes me want to go ride right now. You know, just talking about it.
All right, welcome to Adams Polish's Shop Talk podcast. I'm here with Justin Starling. He is a supercross sensation.
Something like that. I don't know if I call it sensation, but yeah, it's another dirt bike guy.
Yeah.
Just ride on weekends in stadiums.
And we sponsor Justin.
Yep.
He got some decals on his bike, but glad to support him and everything he does. And in today's episode, we're just going to be talking to Justin about kind of his career, his day-to-day life, and just get some insight into the supercross world. And, you know, I mean, I think Adams Polishes does a lot of different things, mainly on cars, but this is such a unique thing I feel like we do that, you know, you were here today and I was like, oh man, you want to do a podcast really quick? You're like,
no, it's cool. When they reached out to me last year, it was something that I didn't expect to ever hear from, you know, like you kind of think that it's like, oh, it's just car stuff. Like, how do you want to get involved in the moto side of things? And we all have vehicles, right? Yeah. We all want to keep our stuff clean. And then you have to wash the motorcycle every weekend, and that's another big part of it, you know? And it's been a really cool collaboration with these guys, and I've loved every minute of it. It's been really cool. And we were here last year during Denver Supercross. Yeah. We just raced this past weekend in Denver, so I'm back again doing the bike work, getting ready for Salt Lake this weekend.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, on top of it, you know, we have that partner company, Engine Ice.
Yep, and I've been with Engine Ice for years.
Yeah, so that's cool. It's like a cool sort of like, I don't know, full circle kind of thing.
I think I started with Engine Ice in 1999.
Wow.
Or maybe 2000.
Crazy.
And I've been with them literally. That's like, I think, my longest standing sponsor.
That's so cool.
So yeah, that's cool because it came from my state in Florida.
Okay.
So, and then like the former owner, we're still really close with. He's actually helped me a lot in my racing career. So yeah, when I found out that Adams Polish was like collabed and everything with Engine Ice, it was like, wow, like that's small world, you know? And I actually found out by walking through the warehouse one day, and that was cool because I still use Engine Ice, and I get it from you guys too. So that's another really cool thing. So yeah, it kind of goes full circle and everything.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So give me a little bit of a background on Justin Starling, and, you know, talk about where you grew up and eventually get to kind of how you started into doing supercross.
Yeah, so started riding motorcycles when I was 4 from my dad. Kind of just grew up in Florida my whole life, and I just remember always watching my dad out the window riding, and it's kind of crazy to remember something like that when I was a kid, but I don't really remember else, you know? Like it's kind of just dirt bikes.
What part of Florida is this?
Just outside Daytona.
Okay.
So like kind of like in the central Florida. But yeah, we got into motorcycles, and it was just a hobby, you know, like just doing it for fun. My sister rode as well. She doesn't ride anymore, but it was just something that we did for fun, and I did it with my dad, and he was also a professional mechanic on dirt bikes, worked for a couple of teams, and I just wanted to ride. Like that was like the thing, is I wanted to get home from school and just go ride a motorcycle, you know, and one thing led to another. We started going racing, and I did my first race when I was 4 years old at the local track. I got last. I was not any good compared to these kids, but I just loved it. It was something that I really just enjoyed, the adrenaline rush as a kid and growing up, and all my friends were at the races as well. So it was like my little getaway each weekend, you know, from going to school and doing all that, and
a little bit of an outlet too. Like
it really was, you know, and it was also so family oriented as well, with my family being there every weekend, and just kind of one thing led to another, and I started winning some championships as an amateur, and 42 amateur national championships later, we decided to go pro, and I did that in 2012, and here we are, still going at 30 years old and having no plans to stop.
Wow, that's really cool, man.
Yeah, it's a long road to get here. There's multiple ways that you can do it. I'm not making millions by any means, but I'm making a lot of memories and things I'll never forget, and to me, that's worth a lot.
Is the drive rooted in your family and rooted in like your childhood, or is it, what is it really?
I think it's, you know, that's a good question. I can't see myself not riding a motorcycle. And I know that there's going to be a day that comes that I can't, and really dreading that day, but it's just, I have so much fun, and I feel like I can just be me, and I can be creative in a way, like my fiance is really good at art, and when she picks up a pen and, and a paintbrush, she can be herself and be creative. And when I ride a motorcycle, I feel like I can be creative. So I think that's a big part of why I do this, and my love for it. But yeah, I love the competition. I love lining up on the gate and being beyond nervous. And I was just telling my fiance yesterday, I think the day that I'm not nervous will be the day that I'm probably done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm 30 years old. I've raced 94 main events, and I still line up and get unbelievably nervous,
Crazy.
So yeah, it's just something that I feel like I was born to do this. This was what I was, put on this earth to do. And yeah, we're still just kicking away, and
Yeah,
you're
just
still doing it.
expressing who you are.
Exactly. Yeah, you can be your own thing, and the biggest thing is like everyone has their own style on a motorcycle, and yeah, my style is me. And do I think it's perfect? No, but it's who I am, and I can express myself on the bike. And to me, that, yeah, like I said, that just speaks volume. And yeah, I can't see myself not riding these things.
Can you define your style?
Smooth, not sporadic. I would say it's very smooth and calculated.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say that's be the best thing. Everyone always says that I'm very smooth, and I don't make a lot of mistakes. So yeah, just calculated and smooth.
That's cool.
Yeah. A lot of people will hang it out there, and I'm like, no, I'll take that little like 0.5 of a second off a lap just to be smooth and calculated, but not on the ground.
Yeah. And congratulations, by the way. You got you're getting married here. He knew it to the day when I asked him. Would you say 88 days?
No, 80.
80 days.
80
there
days.
You go. Yeah. So
Yeah.
congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. It's it's hard to find someone when you're so devoted to a sport. And yeah, I met my fiance and knew from the beginning, like right away. She doesn't believe me, but I'm like, I knew, and I hold true to that. And yeah, we have one more race this weekend, and then yeah, we have 2 months until the wedding, and it's full focus on that. And I'm really excited.
That's exciting.
Yeah, I'm stoked. I cannot wait.
Wow.
I don't know what I'm more excited for, the race this weekend or that.
Yeah.
She's not gonna like that here, but no, I am really, really excited for that. It's cool. It's tough. This sport is so, like, as I was talking about, it's family oriented, and my parents work for the organization that puts on the races. So my parents are at every race.
Oh, wow.
My fiance flies in for every race, so we can really just keep it like a family every time. And her and I work so well together at the races. And she puts a headset on and she's talking to my mechanic, relaying my position and my time and everything. And I mean, that alone right there is huge. Like that's something that's hard to find in this sport. And yeah, I found a good one.
So supportive.
Extremely supportive. Yeah, I mean, she's at home right now taking care of our house, and I'm here in Denver with you guys, making sure the bike's ready to go for next weekend. So yeah,
That's
and then
cool.
I'll drive to the race tomorrow, and yeah, we'll go make it happen.
So, because I watch it every once in a while on TV, but I'm not a super fan. Like Tyler was like at the event last weekend, But give me a sense of, I think there's always, especially in like professional sports, there's a sense of, you have like the crowd, there's a whole atmosphere happening, but once you see like inside the ropes, like you're just saying, like your fiance is in the headset, your parents are there, like, what does that feel like? Obviously, like, what does it feel like with the crowd there and hearing the roars? But like, what does it mean to you to have people so close to you, like right there with you? Yeah.
So I'll start with the crowd. I never look into the stands.
Never?
It's a thing that I kind of refuse to do. And I actually asked my fiance, like, hey, how was the crowd this week? Like, was it crowded? Did it look good? Was it a good turnout?
Yeah.
When I get on the gate, there's a lot of people on the gate that are joking around and laughing and doing funny stuff. And I don't know what gets into me, but I don't look left. I don't look right. I am just focused at the first turn because that's the first obstacle, right? Mm-hmm. So I just do everything I can to picture myself getting that first turn the best I can.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a little bit different for me. I don't ever look in the stands. there's a monster girl that holds the 30-second board before the gate drops. I never look at her. I don't look at the guy that points at her. I look at the clock that she's holding that counts down.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing I pay attention to. Like I get so set on my job.
Tunnel vision.
Yeah, exactly. Tunnel vision is the perfect way to say that. So, yeah, I get very tunnel visioned on it. Sometimes I think it can hurt you. Sometimes I think it can help you. Sometimes you can get too caught up in it, but I think I've, racing, I think for 12 years now as a professional, you kind of just know, or I guess it'd be 13 years now. You kind of just know when it's too much and when it's not enough. You learn because I pay attention to these things.
Yeah.
I also write things down of like, hey, what was good on the weekend? What was bad? How do we fix it for the next weekend? And then as soon as the season's over, I do a full recap of, how the season went. And so that's where you can figure out, okay, does tunnel vision work for me? Does me joking around on the gate work for me? And tunnel vision works for me. Yeah. So, and then having the family at the races, it's a comfort thing as well. If anything can happen, which it can at any time, I know I have family there, and that helps a lot. And, but nothing's better than coming off the track and seeing your fiance right there excited. And I mean, she tackled me this past week because I got my first top 10 this year.
Oh, wow.
And she tackled me out of the chair, she was so excited. And that to me is cool, and that just gets me excited to give it everything I have for 20 minutes this weekend to do that again, so, and then finish the season strong and go get married.
Wow. Do you have like a pre-race routine that's very specific?
So no, right sock has to go on first when I'm getting my gear on, and then my left knee brace has to go on first when I'm doing that. After that, it's kind of just whatever.
No like golden bonds or anything.
No. I'll always sit on the gate and do a quick prayer. I'm not super religious by any means. I know you see 2 crosses on me right here, but it's just a comfort thing, and I'll do that. But that's kind of, my only thing that I'm kind of, my rituals, I guess. But the right sock, left knee brace. Don't know why, but that is something that I will not do. Like if I put my right knee brace first, I put it down and grab my left one. Just who I am.
That's funny.
So
I can relate. I played baseball for a long time, through college and stuff, and I definitely there were certain things that
happens, right? You do it and you remember that you did it because you had a good game, and you remember that little thing and you're like, well, I'm gonna do it again, and then you have another good one and you're like, okay, that's my thing now. It almost takes your mind off of the stuff you have to do before you race, and you can just focus on the next step. I mean, it's all a routine, right? I mean, the whole time everything we're doing is a routine, but it's just a routine, and doing this for 13 years, and we do 17 races a year. You find the routine, you find what works, and you just stick to it. Same with the bike work. I know what I did the week before that made my bike good, so I'm gonna do it again. And it's just part of it. We just keep going.
Yeah, for sure.
So
you were doing some work on this. Do you have stuff you need?
Yeah, I need to do still oil. I need to grease the linkage and stuff like that. That's stuff that I'll probably end up doing tomorrow because it's so meticulous that you have to be so on point with it, taking all the needle bearings out and repacking it back in. But so far today, I've done new graphics, new filter. We swapped the wheels out. We have practice wheels and race wheels, and that's just for the tire tread to have good traction. So these tires will still come off again before the race. And get new tread put on. Just traction's huge, especially when you get out West Coast and you get to the harder pack stuff. It's like riding on this little slick.
Oh, geez. Okay.
So you want as good traction as you possibly can. We did a new chain today. I still got to do some grips. I don't have the glue to put them on. So it's just little things I still have to do. But it's a lot of work on this thing.
So when you say practice wheels and tires, is that does practice happen on the track you're going to race on?
Yes.
Okay.
So on a race day, we do a 10-minute free practice, which is 10 minutes to go learn the track. There's no times. There's nothing except, hey, go learn the track, figure it out. Then we have 2 time practices, which is qualifying for the racing.
Okay.
And they take the best times, 1 to 40 to the racing. And so we do that. We have 3 practices, and then it's about a 3-hour break, and then we go racing. So it's pretty quick. So after the 3rd practice, we'll put a different set of wheels on that have all new tires already on them. They'll have the same sprockets and rotors, so all that's exactly the same. It's the exact same wheel, technically, just a different set with fresh tires so that my mechanic doesn't have to take the tire off or take the wheel off, take the tire over, and then come back with it and put it on. He can just take it off, throw the other wheel on, and then we just put the other wheel to the side. And if we need it from, any bit of contact with another rider and maybe break some spokes or something, we can just throw that other wheel back on as well. So we always try to keep it fresh, and having spare wheels is super important because it's very easy to get a foot peg or something into the spokes and rip those things out. Actually, the rider that was gated, or not gated next to me, but parked next to me this past weekend, he ripped out like 6 or 7 spokes in his front wheel in the heat race. So yeah, there's little things like that you got to be pretty cautious on and have a bunch of spare parts. We have a spare suspension in the van, spare plastic, spare exhaust, spare seat. Like we have a complete seat. So if anything happens to this one, we don't have to do new foam and put a seat together.
Yeah.
We just take this one off, throw a new one on.
Wow.
Same with the handlebars, same with triple clamps. We try to keep as much spare stuff. And really, at the end of the day, we have another motorcycle out there that is built identical to this.
Okay.
For anything that could go really bad, we just hop on the other bike.
Okay.
So yeah, we try to keep it as professional as we can.
Yeah.
The look as professional as we can, and just make sure you have what you need to do your job.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing. And we take the levers off every weekend to just re-grease everything, take the throttle off, clean that all out. We'll do new grips, just last race, put on some fresh grips.
You're trying to eliminate any variable that can slow it down.
Yeah, and it's also like, when grips get wore out, you lose a little bit of traction in your hands. So put new grips on, you have good traction in your hands.
Yeah.
It's just like a tire, really,
Yeah.
like they wear out, and then you lose traction. So also the clutch that's inside the bike, we'll put a new one in for race day. Okay. I'll get to ride press for some media stuff on Friday. On the same clutch that I raced with this past weekend, and then we'll put a new one in. And the linkage, do we need to grease it? No, we really don't. It got done 2 races ago, but we're just trying to avoid any problems.
Yeah.
Really is the biggest thing. And we have 1 race left, so I had one more wash on this thing today. And we just try to do our best because the factory teams are not going to cut any corners.
Uh-huh.
So if I want to compete with them or beat them, I shouldn't either. I gotta be up there with those guys. And
it's like you don't want to beat yourself.
Basically, yeah. You just want to make sure you do. I mean, what's the point of doing all the work during the week and training and the driving and signing up for this and spending the money on the hotels if you're only going to put in 50% on the bike?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, there's no point at that point. So yeah, we put a lot of work into it, but if you take care of the bike, it'll take care of you.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it. Yeah. I don't pull my bike to the frame and rebuild it completely like a lot of the factory teams do.
Yeah.
I do it what works best for me, and the bike will be top notch, and I'll be top notch this weekend. I'll do everything I can, and that's all we can do, right?
Yeah. So you mentioned factory teams, and like I said, we had talked about this a little bit earlier, but
Yep.
You're considered a privateer,
Yes.
not a factory rider. Is that what you would say?
Exactly.
So
yeah.
explain that dynamic
Yep.
in your world.
Right. So I ride a gas motorcycle. I get 0 support from gas themselves.
Okay.
There is a gas team that is a factory team that gas fully supports, and those would be considered factory riders. They're riding for an OEM brand. I purchase my motorcycles from a dealership and build them myself. And there's money being spent on these things in every part. And so yeah, I'm considered a privateer. I also fly here and there to the races, not a whole lot, but I have a van that I own.
Yeah.
The bikes I own. I drive them to the races when I can, and I sign myself up for the races, and I find random mechanics to help me on the weekend. Sometimes I have a multi-week guy, but we do what we can, And as a privateer, we don't have the luxury of having endless parts and flying in and out and getting paid a bunch of money.
Yeah.
I don't get a salary by any means. Any money that comes in, it goes to getting the van down the road.
Yeah.
Parts for the motorcycle. And I have the race for my money, and I will say I don't mind doing that because it kind of gives me an incentive to do my job.
Okay.
You know, so
And when you say money coming in, that's like, where is that essentially where you place?
yeah, basically, yeah, your finish is, yeah. So like last weekend, I got 10th place, and that's $2,800.
Okay.
So that is my money that I get. And then even then, at the end of the season, you're still probably putting a good bit of that back into the racing.
Yeah.
But that's just what a privateer is, you know. And I think we're the core of the sport, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
There's out of 15 factory riders in the 450 division, there's only 2 left. The other ones have gotten hurt, and they just don't line up.
Wow.
I've been dealing with a knee issue all year, and I haven't missed a race.
Crazy.
I show up every time because got to make a living.
Yeah.
You know, and so I really feel like the privateer is the core of the sport, and yeah, we have a big heart.
Is there quite a bit, like, does this sort of have its own community too, as far as like?
In a way, yeah, you could say that. We're almost a little bit like a cult together in a way, if you really want to go that route.
Yeah.
We like the factory guys. We love them. They are great people, but we want to beat them.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, when another privateer does it, we're excited for that guy, you know, and we're like, cool, like we want to get there too, you know. So yeah, there is a bit of a rivalry between the privateers and the factory guys, and I think a lot of it could be, you know, hey, I wish we were making that money as well, and flying in and out and not having to work on a motorcycle ever, and just race it.
Yeah.
But I will say it feels great when you know, I work on this thing, I drive it to the race, and I race it, and I beat those guys.
Yeah.
That's a great feeling.
Big
you know?
payoff.
And it really is. It's a big accomplishment, and I think I'll always enjoy that.
Yeah.
And I think if I was at 30 years old to go ride for a factory team, I think I would miss that.
You think so?
I think I would.
Crazy.
I've had offers from teams to ride for teams and be able to fly in and out and not have to do that stuff. And I'll be honest, I will probably always stick with my program because it leads me to be here. You know, like if I'm riding for a team like I was talking to you earlier, I wouldn't be here. You know, I wouldn't know you guys. I was, if you came to the race and came by the semi, that would be my knowledge of you guys.
Yeah.
And being able to do this and run my own program and work with the people I want to work with, that means a lot to me. And that's fun, and that builds relationships. And you know, I'm a people person, so being able to, you know, come to Adams Polish and hang out here and do a podcast now and work on the bike and stuff like that, I feel like that is more rewarding, and I will cherish that more than any bit of money, you know, these guys are making, and they're just sitting at home and living the same routine while I'm out here making experiences and memories and these relationships. So I like this. I like what I'm doing. I wouldn't change it.
So cool.
It's rewarding. Yeah. You know, and like I said, like with results, money will come. So I'll just keep working hard to get the results and, you know, keep, you know, doing my best with everyone.
That's such a cool perspective, you know, that you hold. It's very down to earth and humble, and like, you know, you're just not, you know, I'd be curious, like if you were married, had kids and had a family, if, you know, riding for a factory would be better because then you could have more time aside. But listen, that's not where you're at. You get to build experiences and memories that you'll never forget.
Exactly. You know, would it be easier to stay home and do all that? Yeah, it'd be great. But you know, I've got a fiance who's extremely supportive of what we do. Honestly, it's a team effort, and at the end of the day, like, you know, when it's time to stay home and be with our kids in the future, we'll do that. You know, that'll come. We'll put someone in the driver's seat and have them drive. But I can tell you right now, when it comes to cities that I love, like Denver and Salt Lake City and stuff like that, I'm going to stay on the road for that week, you know, and make the experiences. And, you know, when we're married and, you know, we can do that and she's not in school like she is right now, she'll stay with me on the road. You know, we'll have some fun with it. You know, we've even talked about next year, you know, just having a motorhome behind or a little trailer motorhome behind the van and just traveling.
That'd be
you know,
sweet.
And like that's an option that's out there, you know, and we're not putting it off. We're not saying no to it. We're not saying yes to it. It's something that over the summer after the wedding, you know, we got to start figuring stuff out for 24. Like, should we do it? You know, like, do we go buy a motorhome and go live on the road for a few months, or do we, you know, find a driver and put him in and fly back and forth? You know, if if she happens to get pregnant in that time, then hey, we'll probably stay home.
Yeah.
You know, and do that. But if things are just going like normal and we're married and doing all that, hey, we might get a motorhome.
Yeah.
So we might be camping in the lot next year.
Well, it's always open.
Right.
We don't have a hookup, but you can stay there.
We got little generators. We'll make it work.
There we go,
We'll make
yeah.
it work.
No, that's cool. I mean, that's like, it's like ultimate freedom. It's like, you know,
is.
other than needing to be at the next race, like
Yeah.
you could go explore wherever you want to go.
And that's something that we talk about, you know, this summer before the wedding, we talked about, hey, let's take a trip with no motorcycle, with nothing. Let's just go in the van and let's go camping. You know,
Yeah.
let's go in the wood, or not in the woods, but like up in the mountains, you know, and just do something we're not normally doing.
Yeah.
And I think that's something we might do. And, you know, hey, if we enjoy it, you might say motorhome next year, you know, and just travel
Yeah.
around. And hey, between the races, like, hey, this is a cool campground, you know, in Montana, heading from, you know, if it's Indianapolis to Seattle. Let's go
Yeah.
enjoy it, you know. Let's do all that, because we can't do it forever. So it's something that we've talked about.
I got to get you in contact with our buddy Talon Sai. He our last episode that we posted of the podcast was
Yeah.
with Talon, and that, I mean, that's what he does for a living. And
Right.
he has a Mercedes Sprinter van that's
Yeah.
completely outfitted, overlanded, and
Yeah.
he just goes. He's gone for
like,
a while.
Like, how rad is that, right?
Amazing,
I mean,
yeah.
you get to experience so many things, and I'm from Florida, so my fiance, she's from California. When I went to like visit her hometown with her last year, it's near the sequoias, and I'm just like, wow, these trees are massive. You know, it's something I've never seen before.
Yeah.
You know, and she's like, this is so normal. And then she comes
Yeah.
to Florida, and you know, now she lives there, and you know, she's like, wow, this is so weird, but it's so different. I'm like, oh, this is normal to me. And so it's like, well, there's a couple city, or quite a few cities this year that she's never been to. You
Yeah.
know, Denver being one of them this year, and then Salt Lake next week, and she's never been. So it's like, well, hey, like, have you ever been through Boise, Idaho?
Yeah.
Like, we'd have to drive through it at some point. No? Well, maybe we can go camping there, you know? Like, just little things like that, and, you know, experience it for the year. Live on the road, and, you know, we don't have to stay on the road the entire time. We could always find a driver for a couple of weeks and go back home. But,
Yeah.
you know, it's all about making experiences and memories. Not making experiences, but having experiences and making memories.
Yeah.
And, yeah, like I said, we can't do this forever. So I try to cherish it as much as I can and embrace everything that I'm doing.
Yeah.
You know, and the drive tomorrow that I'll do to Salt Lake City, I've done it before, but I'm going to cherish it. I'm going to love it, you know. And then me and my fiance are going to drive from there back to Florida after the race, you know. And
It's a long drive.
it's a long drive, and we're going to have to do it in 2 days because she's going to be back in school on Tuesday. But we'll make it happen, you know. Like, we'll do what we have to do.
Yeah.
And that's something that's a lot of fun with her. Is she's just like, I told her, I'm like, hey, I'll just fly you home, and I'll drive, and I'll be there by Tuesday.
Yeah.
And she's like, nope, we're doing this together.
That's so
We're road
cool.
trip. So
Wow.
yeah, it's fun. You got to, in this sport, you got to have someone that's got your back. And you know, I want to see the world with her. And
Yeah.
we're gonna get to go to Italy this year.
Oh, wow.
To do some racing. We actually got engaged in Paris last year during a race. We get to go back to that race again this year. Yeah, so I plan on just making memories, traveling around, doing whatever we can, and racing motorcycles on the side too.
That's cool.
You know, so
What's the after? Once you hang it up and it's
Yeah.
time to move on. Because, I mean,
that point's coming, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's inevitable. You can't avoid it.
because there's like an expiration date for.
course.
I mean, that's in every sport.
Yeah, I mean, in this sport, I feel like a lot of it has to do with how you feel. I'm 30 years old. I don't feel 30. Like, I genuinely, like, when I ride a motorcycle, I feel young. Like, it makes me feel like a kid.
Yeah.
That's something I probably should have mentioned earlier. Like, riding, that's something that this dirt bike brings out of me. It makes me feel like a kid.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like I have tons of years left, you know, and it's also injury based, you know, how healthy can you stay and all that. But man, I don't know what's next. I really don't. It's something that's been thought about a lot recently, because I am getting up there in age, but I also don't want to put too much thought into it because I don't want it to take away from what I'm doing now.
Yeah,
you
for
know,
sure.
I don't want to be like, oh, you know what? I don't have to try that hard today because I'm already going to go do this, you know, in 2 years. You know, I don't like thinking like that. I like to live in the moment, and so for now, it's focus on this, and you kind of start to know when that time's coming, and I haven't had that feeling, so I feel like I'm still doing okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, Man, I don't know.
Yeah.
I really don't. It's a question I get asked a lot. I got asked it yesterday. For now, I'm very fortunate to still ride this motorcycle. I can still race at a professional level.
Yeah.
I'm still competitive.
Yeah.
So for now, I'm going to keep doing it.
It's a testament to your mindset too. It's not something that you need to figure out right now.
Yeah.
But I know, I'm sure everybody you talk to is,
Yeah,
that's a question.
I mean, it's something my parents bring up to me. They're like, "Hey, like, what are you gonna do when you're done? What's this?" And now getting married and wanting to start a family, like, you gotta start thinking of these things a little bit. You can't just. This isn't a hobby to me. This is my job, and I make a living doing it. But yeah, it's something you got to think about, and I think I'll always end up in the industry. I really do. I know it like the back of my hand.
Yeah.
I'm comfortable in it. It's like talking about dirt bikes. You're comfortable, right? Like when I'm passionate about something, it's very easy to talk about it. So I feel like something in the industry is definitely a good spot for me.
Yeah.
And I also feel like I bring a lot of value to a company that could use my knowledge or expertise with certain things, or I do run my own program. It might be small, but it's efficient, so a team could use my my knowledge on how to run theirs. There's plenty of options there. Man, the passion is there, and it's never going to go away. I'm 30 years old, and there's not been one time where I'm like, nah, I don't think I'm going to ride today, or no, I don't think I want to do this today. It's like, well, man, can we ride? Like, I want to ride, and I'm calling the organization that puts the races on, like, hey, can I get into press day? Because I know I can ride for like 20 minutes if I'm in press day.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, you need to come do media on Thursday. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
If that's what I have to do, sure, no problem.
Yeah.
So I'll do this pretty much again tomorrow, or not tomorrow, Thursday, for live TV with the bike out there and talking about it. And I mean, not many people can go on live TV and talk about their passion. So
that's so cool.
For me, man, I'm going to take full advantage of it, and enjoy it. And I guess the best way to put it, what's next, is the race this weekend.
Yeah, I love that.
What's next.
Man, I love that. Man, it's just like when you're on the starting line, tunnel vision.
Yeah.
You know exactly where you are, which is awesome. You had the race in Denver this last weekend, and then of course you're here cleaning the bike. Like, talk about that process a little bit, and maybe touch on just a little bit of like some of the Adams Polishes products that like fit in to help you be efficient with that.
Yeah, so the all-purpose cleaner is something that you can use on the bike, because I mean, these things get dirty.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as it touches the ground and you give it gas one time, the underneath the rear fender is coated, the tires are coated, you get roosted by another rider, everything's just coated with dirt, and it's funny, you work on them more than you ride them.
Yeah.
I was making that joke earlier. You have to clean them more than you ride them.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw me today, how much I was just wash this, spray it down, wash this, spray it down, wash this, scrub this, wash this again. But you have to take care of the thing, right? And you're also, in my opinion, is a clean motorcycle that is scrubbed down, looks great, is a great representation for your sponsors. And having a company like Adams Polish involved, that's you're cleaning, you're making things look nice. So who would I be to show up at the race with a dirty motorcycle and look like this when I have a company that makes great products that can clean the bike, and the in and out spray to make the wheels look shiny like they are. If I'm not doing that stuff, I don't feel like I'm doing my job for you guys.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's where take care of your stuff, man. It's not hard to do. It's a lot of work, but I love doing it, to be honest with you. I love cleaning, and I'll be honest with you, I'm really excited to get home next week and clean my truck, like it's little things like that. But I mean, the biggest thing for me, I love the in and out spray. I've been kind of obsessed with that, to be honest with you. Like, I'll wash out my floorboards with the rubber mat cleaner in my truck, and then immediately spray the in and out on it to make it shiny. And it smells really good too. So that's a major plus. But the all-purpose cleaner is just like washing your motorcycle and making it look pristine. I mean, the thing looks great, and there's quite a few products that I really like, but the what is it?
VRT.
VRT. I use that on my Sprinter a lot, on the rubber trim all the way around it. I use that a lot. The rubber mat cleaner also on my floor in the van, because it's all rubber floor.
Okay.
I'll use that quite a bit. Sometimes when I'm getting fancy, I'll spray the in and out on it as well to make it a little shiny.
I love it.
But Yeah, the big thing is like the wheels, like they get so beat up, and I want them to shine and look really good. So the in and out spray is perfect on that. It just gives it that nice pop, and doesn't make it slimy either. It's
Yeah.
really, really nice.
I mean, your bike is pristine.
And it's got 51 hours on it.
Dude, see, you would never even know that you
Yep.
raced this weekend. It's
Yep.
not like you can even tell. There's not one speck of dirt on this thing.
Nope.
Which is super impressive.
I take it pretty far down. We had a crazy mud race a few races ago, and I pulled the thing to the frame and rebuilt it up, cleaning everything in and out. Wow. And yeah, I mean, it's one of my sponsors is 100%, and it's 100% goggles, and their slogan is, how much effort do you give? 100%. I do it with everything I do.
Yeah.
With the cleaning the bike and making sure my sponsors look good. We do new graphics every week so that no logos or anything are a little bit botched up from Roost or anything like that. It always looks clean and nice.
Yeah.
Because like I said, like at the end of the day, when the bike's in the pit and all that, we want to keep it clean. We want to represent our sponsors in a professional way. And I feel like I do a good job at it. Could always be better, but same with racing, I was 10th this weekend, I can always be better.
Yeah.
So it's a ladder that we're just steady climbing.
Wow. That's pretty cool, man. You were just talking about how you're building all these memories and stuff. Do you have anything that like sticks out in your mind specifically?
So last year, Salt Lake, I got my first top 10 in the premier class, and that was something, I mean, I'm almost kind of getting chills thinking about it, but you work 17 races and you work your butt off just trying to get there and get better and get better, and you just want that top 10. I was like 11th a few times, and I'm like, man, like I just want to get in there and get in that top 10. And man, I rode my heart out last year, and I got 9th. Oh, wow. And I'll never forget coming off the track, immediately seeing my mom in tears. Like she was almost running onto the track. She was so excited for me, and I broke down into tears, and I have photos of it, and like, to me, that's been my favorite memory yet, just seeing my family so excited for me.
Yeah.
To accomplish something that they knew that I've been trying my whole life to do, and I've gotten some top 10s in the 250 class, but they're just regional. You don't race everyone in those divisions. In the 450 class, you race everyone. And man, that's a memory that will never get old.
Yeah.
I think about it all the time. I've been thinking about it a lot this week because I'm like, hey, we're going back to the same stadium.
Yeah.
Parents are going to be there again. My fiance will be there, which is going to make it even more special. Yeah. Let's do it again, and will it top the first one? No, it's always that first one. And your mom is there, and you see the emotion out of her. It brings it out of you. And I was able to get a top 10 this weekend, and I was like, it was good, but it doesn't top that last one. Yeah. So
probably a little bit of reassurance too. Like you're putting so much work into it.
It is, and especially, to stay healthy all season and be at every race is huge. Yeah, I've been injured this year, but I've shown up. I do my best to show up and represent my sponsors and give it a go. I'm not a what if guy. I don't like to go home and sit there and be like, what if I showed up that weekend? I probably could have made the main event or something like that. I'm like, nope, let's go try, and yeah, so it's cool. I thoroughly love this sport. It is such a blessing to be able to do it at my age as well. I imagine I'll probably get emotional even this weekend, just knowing that the season's over, because man, I want to keep racing.
Yeah.
I want to keep going and all that. But there's 2024, and
and you're starting a new phase of your life.
I am.
Which is really exciting too.
Yeah, that's something that I am very excited for. We talk about it every day, and I wouldn't say we're excited for the season to get over to get married, but I am very excited for that. And I'll be emotional on Saturday night when the race is done, but Sunday morning I'm like, okay, like now it's real life, and let's go do this, and I'm excited for it. I really am. It's going to be so cool. And when you find someone that's so supportive of your passion, and it's almost becoming a bit of her passion, in a way. And, I hope we can always have that through our lives. And, if our kids in the future want to race a motorcycle, sure. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to tell them no.
Yeah.
if they want to do it, I'm full support, you know, and if they want to play baseball, full support, you know, it's whatever they want to do. I'm there for it. But, I know my passion will always be here, but I'll never force it on the future. But
Like your sponsor, 100%.
100%.
Yep.
Yeah. No, it's cool, man. This thing is, I know it's just a motorcycle with 2 wheels and an engine, but it's also a way of life, you know, and it's a way you can be yourself, and man, it's so cool. Like, it's so much fun. I love riding these things. It's such a blast. Like, it makes me want to go ride right now, you know, just talking about it, you can't beat this feeling that I have for it, you know, and it's like for people swinging a baseball bat or kicking a soccer ball or throwing a football, they love it, and there's a reason why they love it, and mine just happened to be this red machine in front of us, you know, and I love where it's taken me. It's taken me around the world. I've been able to race in Germany. I've been able to race in the Netherlands. I've actually won 2 championships in the Netherlands. I've been to Denmark, you know, the UK, Portugal, Turkey, because of this thing, you know, and that to me is cool, you know, and you can have a great motorcycle, but if the rider doesn't show up, you know, figuratively speaking, you have to be there on race day and ready to go. You know, it's not going to get you anywhere, you know, and I always make sure I put my best foot forward. I am the guy that no matter what, I'm going to give it 100%. There is no doubt in my mind. I am going to give it my all. I will never lay up. Like I said, I'm not a what if guy. You know, I'm a let's do it, and you know, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, hey, at least we tried. You know, I don't want to go home and just be like, well, I should have done that. Or why didn't I do that? Or man, if I just had suffered a little bit more when I was tired, you know, it'd have been all right. Like, I'm really big. I made a post on Instagram like, one more this weekend, we're going to give it our all because we'll rest the summer.
Exactly.
That's it. I'll be able to sleep fine Saturday night. I'll get as much sleep as I need to get, but I'm going to give it my all. And if I don't come off that track and fall over for being so tired, I didn't give it my all. And that's what I'm going to do. I don't care if I'm in 15th place or 9th place or last. I'm going to give it my all. And that's the way I can hang up this season knowing, you know, I did my best. So,
well, thanks for letting us be a little piece of it.
Oh, you guys are a big piece. Yeah, very great spot on the bike. You know, you keep all my stuff clean, which I'm a clean freak, and I own these things. These are my motorcycles. So I want to keep all my stuff clean, and I also have great hats that I wear literally 24/7. Tyler makes fun of me all the time because I literally don't take it off. But no, it's an honor to be with you guys. It really is, and you know, I get hit up all the time like, man, how are you involved with Adams Polish? That's so cool. Their product's so good. And I'm like, to be honest with you, I would say I got lucky, but I think it was just meant to happen. You know, I really do. And I'm super thankful. You know, you guys don't only keep my fiance and I's vehicles clean, but my bike clean, and my boots clean, my helmet clean, everything. You know, we're always looking good. Even my goggle lens with the glass cleaner, we're always looking good. So no, it's an honor. It really is. It's super cool. I love it. The logos look great. The product is amazing. So to be able to represent you guys is, you know, and just an honor for myself. So.
We appreciate it.
Always.
Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
And congratulations again.
Yeah.
We'll be watching.
Racing is cool, but I'm getting married.
Congrats, dude.
Thank you. Appreciate it.